All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are putting on our digital detective hats. We're going behind the curtain of a true YouTube phenomenon to reverse engineer the entire system that let one creator build a media empire with over 20 million subscribers. So let's just start with the billion-view question, right? The travel space on YouTube is maybe the most crowded, most saturated market there is. So how on earth did Joe Hattab not just carve out a niche, but completely take over the whole category? I mean, the scale here is it's staggering. 20.1 million subscribers isn't just a popular channel, that's a global media powerhouse. And by digging into how he got there, we can actually uncover a masterclass in modern content strategy. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with that big question, then we'll break down the three key pillars of his strategy: the language he uses, the insane access he gets, and his focus on these extreme human stories. And then we'll put it all together into his repeatable viral formula. So let's really set the stage for our investigation. We're not talking about one lucky video that just happened to go viral. We are looking for the patterns, the repeatable system that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, right there in his video library. Because at the end of the day, it really all comes down to the click. You're scrolling, there's a sea of thumbnails, and you have, a split second to grab someone's attention? We're about to see how Hattab mastered the art of making his content completely irresistible before you even watch a single second. And that irresistible packaging? It all starts with language. It's the very first pattern you notice when you look at his channel, and honestly, it's impossible to miss. He literally engineers curiosity by weaponizing a very specific kind of word. Just take this title from his most viewed video ever. He doesn't say a tour of a tough prison. No, he uses superlatives, biggest and toughest. Right away, that frames the video not as some simple tour, but as an extreme, unmissable event. It creates this huge sense of scale and stakes. And you see this pattern again and again and again. It's not just a cool kung fu school, it's the deadliest. That one word completely transforms the topic from a cultural piece into this high-stakes, almost dangerous experience for you, the viewer. It's a promise that you won't find this story anywhere else. And the difference here is, it's everything. My trip to an El Salvador prison sounds like a diary entry. The world's biggest and toughest prison sounds like an HBO documentary. One gets completely lost in the algorithm, the other demands that you click. That is the power of his superlative strategy. Okay, let's move on to the next pillar, because a great title has to deliver on a great promise. And Hattab's core promise is this: I will take you to places you could never, ever go yourself. Period. And his promise of access isn't just random. It falls into these really specific buckets of exclusivity: high security prisons, insanely harsh environments, and totally isolated cultures. And think about the tech required to even film this. Getting those epic drone shots in Antarctica means his DJI drone's GPS stabilization has to be incredible to fight those high winds. And managing terabytes of 4K footage in the middle of a desert, that demands a rugged, super fast SSD storage setup. The common thread is always, these are places you just can't get to on your own. But just getting through the door is only the first part of the puzzle. The real magic, the thing that hooks you, happens when he turns the camera on the people who actually call these extreme places home. That's what turns a location visit into a real story. You see, the location is the hook, but the human story is the reason you stay and watch the whole thing. He gives you this raw, unfiltered window into rituals, traditions, and ways of life that feel like they're from another planet. And that creates a really powerful emotional connection with his audience. And the numbers don't lie. His highest performing videos, the ones that just explode, all share that same DNA. They fuse an extreme, inaccessible place with a fascinating and, often controversial human story. This isn't just a coincidence, it's his viral sweet spot. So now that we've kind of taken apart all the individual pieces, we can put them back together. We can actually see the engine that drives his entire channel, a clear, repeatable formula for creating one blockbuster video after another. It boils down to this really simple but incredibly powerful three-step playbook. First, you find the extreme. Second, you get inside. And third, you wrap the whole thing in language that makes it absolutely impossible not to click. This is the blueprint for his multi-billion view machine. So this isn't about getting lucky with the algorithm. It's a system. You could call it viral content engineering. And it's not just about psychology. It's also about technology. He's engineered his entire production workflow for speed and quality. Think about it. Using sophisticated AI audio plugins to get crystal clear dialogue in a windy desert, or using cloud platforms like Frame.io so his editing team back home can start cutting the video while he's still out in the field. It's a total system. So really, the big takeaway here is that his success points to something much bigger. This isn't just travel vlogging anymore. It feels like a whole new genre of documentary, one that's faster, way more personal, and perfectly packaged for the viral world we live in. And that leaves us with one last, kind of provocative question. Is this supercharged, high-stakes approach the future of documentary filmmaking, bringing really important human stories to a massive new audience? Or is it just the ultimate evolution of clickbait, packaging reality for maximum shock value? The truth, as it usually is probably somewhere in the middle.